rights issues, and what are the other things from a quality assurance standpoint that are affecting these factories now?
I think you're always going to have the social accountability aspects of any business. I think you guys hit it on the nail on the head. I mean, you're imposing, Western or U.S. perceptions on how a company should be run from a social accountability standpoint. Obviously, you want to see women labor laws, children labor laws, overworking hours. So that stuff is being monitored, whereas it might not be adopted culturally within the country that you're asking to supply these products. So you're kind of pushing criteria from our society into a society that, not to say that it's wrong to do that, but you're asking them to kind of bend around and adapt to that.
Can you give us an example of something that we think is, perhaps we read in the papers, that's terrible, how can they do that? Yet
8-hour work week, or 40-hour work week. 8-hour work week. We don't like an 8-hour work week. No, if you look at a 40-hour work week, if you're going to impose that, I mean, you have a society that may be comfortable with working beyond 40-hour work week. And they're willing to embrace that, much the same way as people zest for overtime, here, from a union standpoint or manufacturing standpoint as well. So to push that down, you're putting an impediment on those people in terms of what they can do based off of our culture. Does that give you an example?
Yeah, and in fact, these people may be saying, I need those many hours to support my family or whatever, that's what I expected to do.
Exactly.
Thank you. Oh, Larry, go ahead.
I was just going to add to that by saying that in a lot of cases, what we have to understand is the culture. We have factories where we have our employees that live on site, and they work there, live there, and they want to earn as much income as they possibly can. They send the money home, and when it becomes a holiday of some kind, or whether it's Chinese New Year or whatever, they leave the factory, they go home, and in some cases it's a 2 or 3 day venture to get back to where they call home. And when they come back to work after the holiday, they don't necessarily go back to the same factory. They'll come back to a factory that they may have spoke to someone else or heard that's paying better or giving them more hours and so on. So you have to retrain in a lot of cases, retrain the workforce again and so on after these startup periods. So when Chinese New Year, for example, takes place, there could be a lag time of production and we have issues getting that restarted again. And what we have to do is we look at it from a North American perspective and say that 40 hours or 8 hours a day or whatever seems to be acceptable and we should accept that. But they want to work maybe 12 hours a day or whatever and earn as much as they possibly can. You got to remember that the rate of pay is a lot different. So they want to earn everything they can and send that money and support their families and so on. So it's dramatically different.
Thank you. All right.